Hello there, this is David from David Books and Comics, and today I thought I'd go through my vintage paperback collection of Pryamid books. And Pryamid was a company founded way back in 1949. Eventually it became a company called Jove Books, Harcourt Brace Jovanovich, I think. They shortened it to Jove, and I think they still maintain that title, Jove. And eventually I think the company was also bought by another monopoly capitalism type company. Penguin Books, I think, owns it now. Anyway, so that's number 11. Passionate Virgin is by Peter Lindsay. And a lot of these appear to be racy, but very tame by today's standards. You can get more raciness in a modern Harlequin romance paperback. This is Reckless Passion. This is by a guy named Corden Semple. Beautiful book. Number 12, Intimate Love Story of a Lady of Pleasure. So that's that one, Reckless Passion. Here's another one. This is called Palm Beach Apartments. It's by Gail Jordan. What happened in their love nest set the whole town talking. All right. And this is a famous writer, series novels, a guy named Peter Cheney. And this is a Slim Callahan novel. It's called Set Up for Murder. Racy thriller with a wallop of a twist. All right, so when Slim Callahan's suave private eye told a beautiful nightclub singer he would find her lover, he let himself in for a dangerous and exciting chase. For his voluptuous client was actually a Scotland Yard agent, and her boyfriend was the pawn of international spies. So twist upon twist of plot. So that's that one. Set Up for Murder. This is Tavern Girl by somebody named Glenn Watkins. There she is, with a drink on one side and a, who knows, like a glass of scotch on the other, I guess. Tavern Girl by Glenn Watkins. Okay, so that's that one. And here is no, it's not. It's Dorothy L. Sayers, The Moonstone. It's probably the best, finest. Yeah, it's by William Wilkie Collins. And that's The Moonstone. And that looks like Merle Oberon on the cover. I don't know if that was a movie or something. Doesn't say. A masterpiece, not yet surpassed, even equaled. Yeah, those who read it consider it. This is an abridged edition, unfortunately. But they consider it one of the best mystery novels, kind of an occult mystery ever written. So it's called The Moonstone by William Wilkie Collins. It says Wilkie Collins, but his first name was William. All right. Yeah, Moonstone comes about as near perfect, as near perfection as anything of its kind can be. So that's that one. And then we have, this is number 19, this is number 21, this is called Sin Street by Doreen Manners. All right, interesting cover. Inside the story of the vice racket told by a call girl. And let's see what our next one is. We'll move that aside. And then we have Bruno Fischer. He's a classic noir novelist, crime noir. Dead Men Grin by Bruno Fischer. Well, what was the telltale clue in the dead grinning faces? Who knows? Bruno Fischer hailed the New York Times as one of the most distinguished mystery writers of this or any other year, has repeatedly thrilled his vast number of fans with such successes as, and it gives a whole list. So that's Bruno Fischer, Dead Men Grin. And here's The Manatee, as by Nancy Bruff. The Manatee was a paperback novel that got published by, it was the first in the series by Harlequin Books. Harlequin Paperback started with this book, The Manatee, a lusty, passion-packed saga of Nantucket whaling days. Okay, so that's by Nancy Bruff, Manatee. All right, that's number 24. And the next one is The Shame of Mary Quinn. Dramatic power, climax. It is tremendous. Powerful story of unnatural love. Clifton Cuthbert. Sounds more like a pseudonym. All right, so that's The Shame of Mary Quinn. Here's another Bruno Fisher. It's called Stairway to Death. Lush and lurid, the Saturday Review, complete and unabridged. All right, all for 25 cents. Spine-tingling thriller about two brutal murders and a clever sleuth who had to solve them, or stand accused himself, is another triumph in the pen of Bruno Fisher. And there's the different books that Bruno Fisher wrote by different publishers. Slush and lurid. Stairway to Death. And this one's two writers, called Roadside Night. Purports to be an original story. It's Pryamid number 33. He was a young, ambitious ex-GI with a motel on the outskirts of Los Angeles. All right. The next one is number 35. Louis Charles Royer, French doctor. His lady patients tempted him too much. First translation from the French. Okay. 3 women and a French doctor. Our next one is called The Raft. It's number 38 by Robert Trumbull. True adventure of 3 men adrift on the Pacific. Okay, we'll move those aside. And the next one in the series is by Guy de Maupassant, The House of Madame Tellier. It's a translation from the French. Guy de Maupassant was a French writer, short stories mostly. And The House of Madame Tellier, complete and unabridged. And this is Pryamid book number 41. Sinner, Scoundrel, Profligate, and Prostitute by Guy de Maupassant, world's most famous storyteller. Knew all sorts intimately, and he reveals their secrets and vices, their loves and licentiousness, with a candor that is unequaled. Yeah, he is a good writer, kind of a realist, or about human nature anyway. So that's that one, number 41. And this one's by a guy named Alan Seeger. This is G48, subject hitherto only whispered about. Cage of Lust. Original title is Equinox. Novel has remarkable in candor, depth, and richness. Cage of Lust by Alan Seeger. And what do we have here? This is Maud Hutchins. This is a diary of love. Sexual awakening of a teenage girl. Vivid strange. A masterpiece. It's from Newsweek. And there's Maud Hutchins in all her glory. So that's that one. Diary of Love. And this one is by a guy named Dyson Taylor. Bitter Love. Daring story of a forbidden relationship. The man she loved was abnormal. What's that for a tale? Dyson Taylor. This is Apache Devil, or Pig Tree John, by Edwin Corll. He couldn't keep his hands off his son's white wife. All right. So that's that one, Apache Devil. And this is The Heavenly Sinner. These are very racy novels, or racy titles, but the intimate life of a famous courtesan. And this is G64. This is abridged, Heavenly Sinner. Oh, it's the true life of Lola Montez, the intimate revelation of her loves and licentiousness, her travails and triumphs. Above all, is it a story of her grandest passion, a passion that can only happen to an unconventional woman of her magnificence. So that's that one. That's The Heavenly Sinner. All right. Let's see, we'll move it this way. We're running out of space. Then we have A Woman of Paris by André Tellier. A Woman of Paris. She was hot-blooded, reckless, unconventional. And this one's called Stella and Joe, abridged as by Lester Cohen. Daring affair of a Marine and his girl. I don't know who did these covers. I don't know if they were signed or what. Yeah, there is a signature. So that's Stella and Joe. It's very faded. Here's another one. This is called The Bohemian by Jules Coslow. This is Pryamid book number 83. All right, so let's see. We'll start not with this one. We'll start with this one. This is The She-Devil. This is number 89 by Harry Hervey. And the next one is, oh yes, Red Rider of Smoky Range, Showdown Trail by William Colt MacDonald, famous for writing the Three Musketeers series. And I want to show you my favorite cover. This is the Hillman number 19. It's the original cover of The Red Rider of Smoky Range. Beautiful, beautiful book. I prefer this cover. He's a good guy who dons a mask. And anyway, you'd have to read the book, what happened, to see what happens afterwards. But this is the Pryamid version of it. All right, so that's that one, number 95, Showdown Trail. And this is number 100, The Life of Benvenuto Cellini, a modern edition of the great autobiography. It's a very ancient autobiography. I think it was written along 16th century libertine, whose own notorious story will be outlived only by his monumental works of art. All right, that's that one, number 100, Cellini. And this is Emile Zola, revised. It's, I don't know how to, Pobouille, it's how to pronounce that. It's French. So that's Lesson in Love, a young Frenchman in a Paris boarding house. Lesson in Love. Like I say, they may have racy titles, but they're far from being the racy type books that you would find today. This is number 164. It's called A Strange Woman. Her desires were devilish. So that's that one. As by, who's the writer here? James Whitfield Burke. And here is Women on the Wall. This is the desires and frustrations of women without men. So behind bars, I think. Oh. Brought you one of the great in one great anthology. There's Hemingway, Thomas Wolfe, Catherine Mansfield, D.H. Lawrence, Kay Boyle, Dorothy Canfield Fisher. Collection of unforgettable dramatic tales by some of the world's greatest writers, women who rebelled. So that's Women in the Wall. This one's, should move this. This Pryamid book, number 564. And that's called Sirens Screaming. They paid the price of a premarital indiscretion. It's abridged by Ernest Booth. And here is The Junk Pusher by Robert W. Taylor. Pryamid original, it says. He brought a new vice to a sin-ridden town. All right, The Junk Pusher. His victims were drug-addicted teenagers and desperate women. All right, sounds almost a realist type story. And here are some later pyramids. This is the science fiction novel featuring the stainless steel rat. The saga of Slippery Jim Diggory's interstellar con man and crook. Sound familiar? This is by Harry Harrison. This is a kind of Harrison Ford character. And this is a famous hard-boiled writer, crime noir. It's called Nita's Place, but it's by Harry Whittington. One of the most versatile creators in modern times, says Anthony Butcher of the New York Times. In the New York Times. Double lives and his secret desires in a Florida motel. Yeah. That's Harry Whittington, Nita's Place. Beautiful book. And now we have another science fiction writer. This is Theodore Sturgeon. Stories by him. That's called Sturgeon in Orbit. Let's see. Yeah, the incubi extrapolation. The incubi of parallel X. There you go. That's Sturgeon in Orbit. And what do we have? Another Theodore Sturgeon. This one's called Starshine. From the far planets to the midnight world of the supernatural. Stories by Theodore Sturgeon. That's that one. And we have more. We have Starshine. That's another version of the novel. Different cover. Alright, so that's that one. And what else? We have Asimov, 8 stories, The Rest of the Robots. They did man's dirty work, but could they be trusted? And there's Asimov and all his young glory. Famous for his foundation books and stories. And this is from the TV series, kind of underwater Star Trek. It's called City Under the Sea. TV series was called A Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Adventure CABC's famous TV thriller. Nelson and the Sea View fight a strange and deadly invader. All right, so that's that one. Countdown to Doom. Yeah, it's a voyage to the bottom of the sea adventure. It's that's like an undersea Star Trek. And here's one of the great crime noir novelists. His name is Colonel Woolrich. Novel of terror by a master of suspense. Death is My Dancing Partner. A Pryamid original. Who's the artist here? Oh, I can't tell. Ed something. Famous for writing The Phantom Lady, which was filmed starring a guy, an actor named Franchot Tone. This is Algis Budrys, The Falling Torch. You had to free an enslaved planet or die. So that's that one. Algis Budrys, The Falling Torch. And there's the famous Who, also by Algis Budrys. Amazing story of a scientist who knew the world's most frightening secret. All right, let me move those around. Then we have Men Against the Stars, edited by Martin Greenberg. Conquest of Space 9. We'll just look and see. There's mentions the stories. I don't want to open this up. All right, so that's that one. Pryamid, science fiction, Men Against the Stars. Introduced by Willie Lay. Then we have The Spell of Seven, edited by Al Sprague de Camp. So these are tales of swords and sorcery, it says. Supernatural stories. And sure enough, doesn't mention what they are. I just don't want to open the book. Might fights magic, spears clash with spells in these 7 masterful tales of adventure and sorcery. Stories of strange dooms, barbaric battles, and superhuman heroes. Well, I'm too tempted. Let's just see what it is. Too tempted to not know what the stories are. For fans out there of people like Robert E. Howard, be surprised, especially if the editor's Al Sprague de Camp. So this is The Spell of Seven, opened up. And what do we have? Fritz Lieber, Bazaar of the Bizarre. Lord Dunsany, The Horde of the Giblins. Clark Ashton Smith, Dark Eidolon. Michael Moorcock. Kings in Darkness, Jack Vance, Missourian, the Magician, and of course, The Shadows of Zamboula, Robert E. Howard. There you go. To my fellow enthusiasts of the art of heroic fantasy, the members of the Hyborian Legion. So that's The Spell of Seven. That's that one. And last but not least is that I'm going to be showing for now. There's more yet. This is Arthur C. Clarke's Voices from the Sky by the co-author of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Fantastic Vistas of the 21st Century. All right. A Moon Catapult, A Calendar for Mars, Sports in Space. How's that? Anyway. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this look through these old vintage paperbacks. With the exception of one of my favorite covers and one of my favorite stories is The Red Rider of Smoky Range by William Colt MacDonald. And just, you have to read the book to find out who the Red Rider is. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this look. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for your subscriptions, and as always, appreciate your comments. Okay, thanks. Bye.